Go ahead and call this special meeting to order. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Mayor Peck.
Here.
Commissioner Angel.
Here.
Commissioner Jennings.
Here.
Commissioner Larson.
Here.
Commissioner Vanier.
Here.
Would you please stand and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance and moment of silence?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Item 3.1, Resolution Number 11-6807, authorizing agreement with Salina County for the acquisition of Oakdale Park and amending the Kenwood Park lease.
Jason?
Okay, Mayor and Commissioners, I'm going to kind of go through a summary here of this, and then certainly Greg Binkson, the legal counsel, is here if you have specific questions about any verbiage in the agreement. For one thing to note, and I'm probably going to repeat some of what happened in the last meeting, but that's okay. Most of the general public probably is not aware that the city actually owns Kenwood Park, and the Salina County actually is the owner in trust of Oakdale Park and has been that owner in trust since 1881. We all are pretty familiar with what buildings and facilities and activities go on in both of those parks. The main purpose of the trust that deals with Oakdale Park way back when was to advance agricultural, horticultural, and mechanical interests of the county and to promote those industries that best advance the development and progress of the county. And since 1922, the city has actually occupied, maintained, and physically improved Oakdale Park for general park purposes, most of that time under a lease arrangement. For the past, I'd say 3 years or so, the city and county have had discussions with regards to the long-term ownership of the parks, particularly Oakdale Park, and tenancy in both of those tracts of land. That's basically been emphasized in a big degree in the last year and a half, as you are aware. What we have before you then is an opportunity to resolve that betterment, and the Salina County has already taken action on that, and that deals with the transfer of ownership of Oakdale Park by marketable fee simple title and special warranty deed to the city in return for the city's future construction of public water and sanitary sewer utility improvements on certain property that's under contract by Salina County, located in the southeast portion of town off of Ohio Street. The city's obligation to construct those utilities at the specified location shall be at the request of Salina County, or the city could move that up earlier if we should choose to do that. That also remains intact even if Salina County would choose to sell that property. The city shall retain certain rights to recover costs of parts of the infrastructure investment on adjacent privately owned tracts of property through the special assessment process. And in addition, the city agrees not to charge Salina County the applied formula-based fee for the Schilling Drainage Channel and related detention basin that's related to their future development. And that's really not so much part of this agreement. It's more of a reflection of their partnership with regards to developing those drainage improvements in the past. As part of the agreement, the city would also agree to modify the lease with Salina County for Kenwood Park, specifically the portion that we kind of refer to as the exposition area, which is where you see all the buildings constructed for Salina County, would no longer be subject to the alteration of the land as described in the current agreement the current lease that we have, that provided that we could, in essence, have them leave if we were to develop a significant public improvement project or have a private a project involving a hotel convention facility. So during the remaining term of the lease, which is approximately 8 years, I believe, at this stage, that those facilities could stay intact and that section would be changed. Upon the termination of the Kenwood Park lease in August of 2019, the county can extend the lease for up to 4 additional one-year terms for the purpose of conducting the annual Tri-Rivers Fair. It's part of our desire to work with them and the community to preserve the fair activity and provide them that adequate planning time that they need. At any time, though, that the Tri-Rivers Fair is conducted at another location, a lease for the park in that 4-year time would terminate by the following August 31st. The process upon execution of this transfer agreement, the city and county will initiate a survey and legal description of the park to make sure that the lines are accurate. They will also make efforts to obtain a court order from Saline County District Court acknowledging the holding of the fee simple title of the property by Saline County and ratifying the transfer of the title to the city by special warranty deed. Both the city and county have been working diligently towards the resolution of this. I think you're aware of that. And resolution of the use of both of these parks and the transfer of Oakdale Park to the city. I put in quite an effort, quite honestly, and there's a lot of credit that goes out to all the individuals involved in that. And there's been a lot of leadership demonstrated throughout that process as well. Properly addressing the ownership and use of those parks has been a challenge for about 89 years. It kind of goes back to when we had the lease. It may go back further than that. Who knows? Maybe it's a 100-year deal. We kind of refer to it as a 100-year deal, and it feels like it. So this is a pretty big deal. We believe the proposed transfer of ownership agreement is an opportunity to overcome the challenges that we've had and reaffirm the ability of the city of Salina and Saline County to find consensus on what's probably one of the most difficult historical issues that either governmental entities had to face, and while also preserving the highest level of public park benefit to the county's residents. I think that's always been in the front of everyone's mind on both sides of this issue. From a fiscal perspective, when we look at the water and wastewater improvement project and the city's obligation to do that, we basically had to estimate that because obviously we don't have a project under contract. The agreement provides that the city will assume the county's financial share of the water wastewater improvements when those are initiated. We estimate that cost commitment to be approximately $310,000. So it's right in there. That's an estimate, and as you know, with many estimates, we try to do that conservatively so that typically the actual costs are lower, and that's intended to be a number for today. And so if the project occurs in the future, it could be a little more than that. That project would be funded by the city's water and wastewater utility fund, which has and will retain adequate resources to fulfill that obligation, so you don't have to worry about that. The upgrading and widening of the segment of Ohio Street, there's basically that mile section from Schilling to Waterwell, adjacent to the property under contract by the county, is a little bit more difficult because we have to look at how that will develop. We do have a new comprehensive plan to utilize, but how will it develop? What does that mean with regards to traffic generation? Is it more industrial, residential, other types of commercial? What type of road would you end up having? So there are a lot of unknown factors. When will it occur? What will those costs be? So it's difficult to tell what the total cost of that will be because there's so many unknown factors. But in the agreement, it does provide that the county will commit $200,000 to those road improvements, and we do believe that's a fair contribution to that project. We do believe this clearly conforms with our strategic plan, particularly Goal 2, which says the city will create a uniformly managed and master planned Kenwood Park, Oakdale Park destination area featuring recreation, tourism, entertainment, hotel lodging, surrounding mixed-use development, green space, and a direct linkage to downtown. So it does fulfill most all of those objectives. We also believe it does fulfill the city's needs and the county's needs as well, and it's a balancing of those. That's basically an overview. You do have in your packet the actual agreement, and so you have all that detail. I won't go through all that detail, but that's a summary. We offer a couple alternatives for you. One obviously is approval of resolution number 11-6807, which authorizes the mayor to enter into a real estate transfer agreement with Saline County for the acquisition of Oakdale Park. And obviously the other one would be not to enter into that agreement at this time. We do believe the attached real estate transfer agreement fulfills the intent of both the city and Saline County for the ownership and long-term use of Oakdale Park and also the use of Kenwood Park, and staff recommends alternative 1. So be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Thank you. Are there any questions of staff or comments Commissioner would like to make?
Mayor, I'd like to make a quick comment here. Sure. I would like to thank fellow commissioners for all the work, time, and effort that went into this, and the county commission as well. Both the city and county staffs for all of the cooperation. It was fine showing of cooperation that went into to handling what Jason just said has been a long time big deal. In the meeting before us, the county commission meeting, Commissioner Duncan pointed out that it was a high level of the C word, as he termed it, as far as cooperation that saw this through. He did also note that it was the importance of the C word without consolidation, which is a C word that I embrace. So because of that statement, I feel it's necessary to say that this has been a very long-standing issue that I can't see would have even been an issue had there been a consolidation of city and county government. So I think that this agreement in general is of a huge benefit to the taxpayers, to the citizens, and to Salina and Saline County. But it took an extreme process to get through that under a consolidated government just wouldn't have been required. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Jennings. Any other comments? I'm sure we'll go over this a little bit more in a joint press conference, but I would like to take the opportunity to, again, state my appreciation to the County Commission for their willingness to work with us on this agreement. It started with a spirit of cooperation between the two commissions, but the main grunt work really was done by both county and city staffs. And, the general public doesn't have an appreciation for the amount of hours that Greg Bingston and Mike Montoya poured over documents and the behind-the-scenes work that everyone did on this. And so, again, thank you for that, and we can discuss that more later. But if there's no further comments here, is there any public comment today? If not, I'll accept a motion.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that we approve Resolution 116807, authorizing the mayor to enter in an agreement with Saline County for the acquisition of Oakdale Park and amending the Kenwood Park lease.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we adopt resolution number 11-6807, authorizing an agreement with Saline County for the acquisition of Oakdale Park and amending the Kenwood Park lease. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion passes 5-0. Is there any other business? If not, I'll accept a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we adjourn. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. We are adjourned.
For string orchestra by Ermanno Ferrari, music of Aram Khachaturian, and also music